Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome to It's So Real.
With your boy Oso.
And your girl Rocqi.
What is good, beautiful people?
We are back with another one.
We are back with another episode, and this one is a little bit special.
Can I say it?
Go ahead, you go ahead and say it.
We got engaged!
Hey, that's right, y'all. That's right. I did it. I popped the question. I got down on one knee.
He did.
And she said...
I said, of course.
And here you have it. And that's the end of the episode. All right, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. We gotta go do stuff.
Hey. So before we actually get into today's show, I want to remind you of our previous episodes. We took a break to fall in love. That's where we explain our love story and how that all went down, how we started our life partnership. I would also say why modern women don't submit and what is a black man's role in the family. Those episodes, just because it's us figuring out who we are within our relationship, within our marriage, and how we're going to show up as our family, you know. As well as the Finding Balance series and the Healthy Relationship series. I don't think we have any other like distinct relationship episodes. Like we have stuff where we talk about it, obviously, but I don't think. Okay. But we do have a playlist on YouTube. It's called Rocqi and Oso's Life Partnership, where
Definitely
those are us talking about clips of us talking about our relationship. So check that out. Thank you to all of our supporters. We wanted to share this news with you all because you all are the It's So Real family, and we appreciate you.
It's So Real family. We wanted to say thank you for all the support once again. And we hope that you can celebrate with us by, we're going to document a lot of the stuff that's going on. So definitely head over to the YouTube channel. Check that out so we can show you some of the in-person stuff, some of the behind-the-scenes stuff. We're going to be putting out a lot more content now. Again, trying to do the whole putting out stuff daily. It's a challenge, but like we're gonna try to stick to it, even if it's just like putting out shorts. But especially now, we have all this energy, clearly because of all the stuff that we're going through personally. So we have a lot of energy to put out stuff and just celebrate. So please join us on YouTube, and thank you for all those who are already supporting us.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, well, this show is not going to be our regular format.
Right, we're going to switch it up on y'all because of the occasion.
Yes, so Oso will be leading because he comes up with the questions. So I will just be responding. I have no idea how this show's going to go. Because I need to pre-plan my questions. He just thinks about them on the spot.
I want her on the spot, y'all. I want her to just go in and be like, okay, damn, I ain't expecting that one. Exactly.
So we'll see how this episode goes. But thank you for listening, and thank you for celebrating with us.
Yeah. So all the questions I'm going to be asking you are going to be about our relationship, about the proposal, and about just the future and how you see things. So it's not going to be anything, off the wall, nothing like that.
Okay.
It's all very much aligned with what we are doing today and in celebration of us. So first of all, I wanted to know, what were your views on marriage when you were like younger? Like when did you see yourself being married? And I guess as a follow-up, when did you see yourself being married, and how did you picture the proposal being?
So I definitely thought, yes, thank you, baby. I definitely thought mid to late 20s would be the proposal and the marriage. And I'm 29, so got in under the wire, baby.
You technically got it.
I definitely didn't see anything. I predicted meeting my spouse at Hampton at a HBCU.
Okay.
But I didn't necessarily need to get married or engaged then. I still was really young, had a lot of growing to do. But I had hoped to find the prospective person, But yeah, I was definitely thinking more mid to late. 20s. How did I think the proposal would go?
Yeah.
I honestly have no idea because there's so many proposals out there that you can like look at. I wanted it recorded, and we've talked about that because it wasn't recorded. I mean, I honestly, it outside of the recording, it wasn't. I didn't need all those grand gestures. Like for me, I wanted to feel the love in that moment.
Okay.
Like, cause like when you're in that moment and like all the women are crying and stuff, like, you know, like I wanted to feel that love. And I didn't want it to be a surprise in the sense of we had not talked about marriage, you know?
Right.
Like I knew this was coming and like it came and I didn't expect it. And it's just feeling the love of each other within that moment. That's kind of what I was hoping for. And it's what I got.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, what about you?
Okay, so for me, I thought I'd be married. I think it's changed at different stages of my life, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
So, like, around in college, I thought I would meet somebody like around 25, 26 and probably be married and be building with that person. So that by like 30 or so we had children and whatever. You know what I mean?
You. I feel that.
That's what I thought.
But the profession of a marriage and family therapist is not exactly on that timeline.
No, not at all. Like you think you graduate and then boom, you're a therapist. Technically, that's what they tell you.
And
but
we're
not
practicing.
Licensed, and then you gotta do all this other shit. And so it's just a lot. Still in that process, but by the end of this month, your boy will be licensed. Don't worry. Oh yeah, I'm serious about that. But anyways, back to the question. So yeah, I would say 26-ish. Going forward, thinking about children and family at 30. When it comes to my proposal, so the way I propose versus how I thought I would propose is totally different. Totally different. So let me just backtrack so y'all have a little bit of, I guess, like foundation for why I even think this way. Let me get some water for this. Oh, it's about to be good, y'all. Let's get into it. Okay. So I'm naturally like a romantic type of person. Good-hearted, very much wanting to give, and just a romantic at heart, honestly. So from an early age, I was thinking about being a good husband. That was something that was within the works of my development consciously. So I wanted to be a good partner, wanted to be a good husband, wanted to make sure that my wife would be happy and satisfied. More on that later. No, you keep it PG. Keep it PG out here. You know what I mean? All right. But yeah, all those things. So from a young age, I had that perspective. So with that, I took on this burden of wanting a grandiose proposal to match with, I guess, like the expression or the illustration of my feelings for whomever that potential woman was going to be. So I figured that unless I was able to do that grand proposal, I wasn't able to show my appreciation and love in the way that I was supposed to with the person who I wanted to actually marry. So that's how I thought of stuff. So I thought that my proposal for whomever it was going to be, it turns out to be you, was going to be the biggest, most grand, hitting the mic ass proposal ever. But it wasn't. It turned out to be different, you know. But we'll get to that later. Y'all don't even know how it happened yet. We're going to keep that on the wraps to the end of the podcast.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. That's right. We teasing the fuck out of y'all. It's good. Okay. Okay, so that's the proposal part, right? what did you think about the guy that you would marry? Like, how would you have described him back in the day? And did I match up with who that guy was? Or has that idea of what you wanted in a guy for a husband completely shifted as you've matured to the point where you actually do have the ring?
I would say more of the latter.
Okay, so yeah, let me hear.
Yeah,
I want to hear these.
when I was younger, I mean, I thought about marriage. I didn't think about. I thought about the wedding. I did not think about the guy. It was honestly just.
Hold on, say that one more time.
I thought about the wedding. I did not think about the guy.
I thought that's what you said.
Listen, check out Life is Rocqi YouTube channel. I did an episode on my Becoming a Feminine Woman series talking about how Disney messed us up.
Fellas, is this a setup?
Check it out because Disney messed us up, y'all. Like the fairy tales, Prince Charming, all of it. So basically it was like this shaded figure and I couldn't see who that person was, but I was getting married to them.
Wow.
And then
but all the bells and whistles was around you and shit.
Yes.
The doves and the fireworks and all that, the fireworks.
All of it.
And the fountains
all
and the
of it. Yes.
hot air balloons and shit.
And then I also told you, like, I was very bougie when I was young. Like, I was very...
Was?
I had toned it down. He's upset because of the gifts during the holidays.
I'm never upset, first of all.
He feels some type of way then.
I'm feeling good vibes. Is what I'm feeling. I'm chilling over here.
Whatever. Well, I was even more bougie when I was younger.
Okay, as long as you know.
And I needed a lot. And once I got to know myself more, I realized I was more down to earth and I didn't need all that showy stuff. But because of that, yeah, it was the big elaborate thing. Yeah, it wasn't until I started getting to know myself more. And, like, honestly, my ex was the first guy I had ever even thought about marrying.
Oh, I can't wait.
What?
No, this is my follow-up, because you know I'm about to talk about it.
Okay.
You know I'm about to talk about it.
Okay. Well, yeah, my ex, like, that was the first, besides you, like, that's, yeah, the only other person I had considered marrying. You know, like, any other guy I had dated, none whatsoever. Not at all. You know, so that was the first time. And I realized that because I was getting to know myself more and I was different than how I had been raised to be or thought I was, like I was just coming into myself and who I wanted to be, that I realized, yeah, like my image that I may have had of a guy looked different. Like I told you about my ex smoking weed and that trashed the good girl. Good girls don't smoke weed. The good girls who get married don't smoke weed. And then it was like, well, that goes out the window because the guy I'm interested smokes weed. So same with you, you know? So yeah, I didn't, it was changing as I got older. And then with you, like, yes, our love and our connection was so damn powerful. Like when you let it flow, it was just like a beautiful flow of energy. Where it was like we were really syncing up. Like at one point it was scaring us. Cause we were like thinking about the same thing at different times of the day or something. And then we would say, yo, I was just thinking about that, what the fuck? You know? So yeah, I felt that and it was very powerful. But honestly, I mean that was cool, but I knew marriage requires more than a connection. So
it does, it's true.
Yeah. So honestly all our values aligning was really like, oh, this is like really good potential for marriage type of thing. But I think I've mentioned it in shows before where I've said, really the three hitters that was like, okay, I want to marry him was you're my best friend. Like I literally enjoy every day of my life with you. Mm-hmm. So, and that is rare. You being able to be with someone all day, every day is rare. Cause family, I love y'all. Can't do it. Friends, I love y'all. Can't do it. You know? Like...
That's very true.
You know, so I was like, that's keynote.
That matters, yo.
You know, like. So yes, I enjoy your company. And then the second one was us co-parenting. We wanted to raise our children similarly. We had similar parenting styles, parenting values, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to really make sure that the father of my children was involved and was able to help me in how I wanted to raise the children of the next generation, because I wanted a more secure foundation, you know, and the fact that you're a therapist, you know, so it really helps with all of that. So that was another, like, okay, this look good. Looking good. Oh wait, no, I missed a step. Co-parenting was the last point that I was like, oh, okay, yes, I can marry him. The second point was business partner. When that day.
What?
When our former supervisor pissed us off.
Oh.
And that day we came up with ideas for the nonprofit. We were like, fuck this shit, we're doing it ourselves. The fact that we were so aligned in our vision professionally, you know, and how we wanted to impact Black America. Like that, yeah, because that's what I wanted. I wanted a man who I could build a professional empire with. So the fact that, like, we literally sat down, like, I think at that point we were already working on the podcast. So then it was now it's like even more legit, because that's even more of a, you know, for the nonprofit. So it was, best friend, business partner, and then co-parent. And after the co-parent, that's when I was like, oh, I want to marry him. Like, there's nothing stopping me from marrying him. Like, I choose him as my life partner. And I think after that, that's when we started our relationship, our committed life partnership. So I knew that I wanted to marry you while we were still in the situationship.
So it's all part of your evil scheme, huh?
Yes.
What the hell? I done got. I done got.
You got by a good one, baby.
The foolishness.
Alright, so I forgot what your original question was.
You answered it, but you kind of didn't.
What was it?
So I was saying, like, about, like, what your expectations were for the guy back then. And then, well, I guess, you pretty much answered it. And relating that to what you got. The guys you expected to have. You were saying that it shifted when you were younger to when you were older.
And then it was in particular with you. Like,
so the older version of yourself, I was kind of the guy who,
yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it's still like, I didn't know that I wanted to marry you upon like our first probably year together.
So what did you think?
It was a great connection. Like, yeah, this was nice, but I wasn't like, I want to marry you.
There was at no point that you thought, like, ooh, this is...
I mean, it was potential for sure.
Okay.
Yes, like the fact that our first conversation went how it went, I was like, there's hella potential. Okay. But I didn't decide that I want to marry you upon that.
But you know, girls be having them fantasies like the first time.
Oh, no, I use logic in this decision, y'all.
No, I'm not saying decision. I'm saying, like, fantasies.
Oh.
Like, thinking about it, imagining
I learned to let that go, because fantasies could get me out of using logic. So I had to be present in the reality of my connection.
Okay.
But yeah, it wasn't, I didn't know about what I needed in order to decide that I wanted to marry someone. Like, yeah, like my ex, that was the fantasy. The fantasy of marriage. Like that was the fantasy. So by you, like, I had to let go. Like, I had to get out of that, you know? Just to grow and focus on my own healing. So when you came around, I didn't know the qualities of how to make that marriage decision until it happened. Until one day I was like, I really enjoy life with you. Like, I could do this forever, you know? And then when we did our business stuff, I was like, oh shit, this is what I always wanted. Like, it's happening. You know, and then like us talking about kids and raising our kids and stuff and rites of passage. And I'm like, oh shit. You know, like it was like in the moment without prior knowledge of what it would what would be needed. That's when I was like, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh yeah, no, this is what I needed to know that I wanted to marry someone.
Okay.
Yeah. Can we reverse that for you? That question for you?
I guess the question would be, what did I think the wife of my dreams would have been?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was younger, they completely are different. They're completely different. So I was thinking, I swore I was gonna end up like marrying or being with, building a family with, in whatever capacity that might look like. I didn't know if I was gonna get married or not at some periods of my life. Just to keep it 100. Yeah.
I'm curious to know about that.
Oh yeah, we gonna talk about it.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna marry somebody of
Afro-Latina
descent.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. I just figured I would, just because culturally, and not like culturally as in like I know a lot about the culture, but more so about more big aspects of a culture, like the food, the music.
Similar to Caribbean.
Yes, they're very similar, and I'm like, I love that. I love their food. Love the culture. Love how fine the women look. Keeping it a buck. Like, yeah. So, and then in grad school, I actually connected with an Afro-Latina woman.
You did.
Who was really cool. Like, really, like, right up my alley, like, in terms of just good vibes and connection. So, that's that. When it comes to that, I thought she might have been a different ethnicity. Then, when it comes to personality-wise, I still figured that we would be getting along. And that it would be somebody I could joke around with, somebody who I could have fun with, Not necessarily my best friend, but, like, maybe my best friend who is a woman. You know what I mean? I figured I'd have better guy friends. Turns out that's actually not necessarily true. No disrespect or offense to my guy friends listening from back home. It's just, we just don't talk as much, and it's okay. It's life. You know what I mean? It happens. No shade to y'all. Shout out to my boys, all my brothers from the line. You already know what it is. We bros for life. It's all love. But yeah, it's just a little bit different. But I did expect some form of like back and forth, being able to just have a rapport with each other, not only on the humor side, but also when it comes to intellect.
I needed that for sure.
I always wanted somebody who was. I always said that. I always said I want a woman that's smarter than me. Now I don't know if you're smarter than me, but you're smart.
I don't know. Like, how would you even?
That's what I'm saying. That's
measure
good.
that?
That's what I'm saying. That's a good thing. That's a good thing that I have to question that. You know what I mean? And I don't think I want somebody who I know is smarter than me in certain categories where I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I think like we have different strengths in different areas, exactly. So it's not even like
so
comparable.
If it was a strength that I felt like I was deficient in,
and you weren't okay, you weren't comfortable with that,
I would be like, fuck. But since I think the biggest thing when it comes to even that, the mindset of growth, is what's paramount. That's the thing that I want at all times. You fucking this mic up today.
I'm sorry. I moved the mic, it's in a different position. I'm not used to it.
You said,
and I'm really excited and happy.
I told you it was going to be a good show.
Yes.
You know?
Come here, baby. You, me, and I. With his hat, be clear, with his hat.
My bad. There you go. Now turn your head. There you go. But yeah, so I figured those categories: intellect. The other thing is kindness. Kindness was a big thing. I always wanted somebody who was like, like nurturing as fuck. Somebody who, when some shit was going bad, she would make it better. Not like actually make it better because you can't fix a situation. You know what I mean? And I'm not one of those people who needs that. I'm not one of those people who's like a victim guy, but I do need like rest moments, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I don't need when I'm fucked up to be kicked while I'm down because that takes me even longer to recharge or to get back. I'm gonna get back. Like I'm very confident that I'm gonna always keep shit going. That's just my personality. That's how I am. I know me by now. Like if I want something, it might take me forever, but I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean? But I don't need the hindrance of like negativity or that negativity or just not the opposite of that kindness, that like mean spiritedness, like that shit. I don't need that shit. That shit is the worst for me. And that for sure was like a requirement or something that I knew I needed with anybody, especially after my ex, which is a situation I'm definitely going to talk about going forward. But that's going to be my next question. I don't want to get too much into it.
So I guess how did it change with me?
With you?
Or add up?
Okay, so with you checked off a lot of things. But yeah, there was a reason why like I wasn't just like, oh yeah, let's get married right away just because we had a good connection. I was like, I saw a lot of stuff that I was like, man, shit, I don't know. Because, you know, I was very aware of myself and becoming more aware of myself a lot through basically through 25, from 25 to 30, I grew a lot. And I took a lot of time to learn myself and appreciate and love myself enough to develop healthy relationships with other people. Because then I know exactly who's coming at who. Like, I know who I am already going into a situation before I need to meet anybody else. So therefore, I'm not worried about like, oh, well, how am I going to react? Or like, you know, so sometimes people have anxieties, and I can say that for myself. I guess you can say that as well.
Yes, very much so.
But like anybody in the audience, anybody listening, just listen up, see if this applies to you. Like, you have anxieties about the way that you're appearing or showing up in a certain environment because you don't know how you'll necessarily appear or be within that environment. So let's say you're going into a party. You might feel like really anxious because you're like, oh shit, like I just walked in, everybody's eyes are on me and shit. Like, what the fuck? What are they thinking? Whatever like that. I've reached a stage of confidence and knowing myself in certain situations where if I do walk into something that's foreign, I'm still like, okay, I know who I am. So regardless of what other people are thinking or regardless of what the situation is, I know how I am going to react in this situation. To a point of like numerous situations. Now, am I perfect? Do I know every scenario? Hell no. If a meteor just dropped into the living room, what the fuck would I do? I would panic like a motherfucker. What the fuck kind of shit is that? But, you know, that's out of the realm of possibilities. But in most cases, I've thought about these situations and I've actually lived out these situations, which is even more important. So now I've learned like, yo, when I'm on stage, when I'm at a party, when I want to talk to a woman, when I want to approach, when I want to propose, when I want to, all types of shit. I've thought about these things and I've actually lived them. So now I know how I act in so many situations. So when I'm brought into a situation that's maybe challenging, I don't really fear it. So it's just a little bit different. I forgot exactly why I went on that tangent. But y'all get me. But basically just saying that I'm reacting to moments differently, I guess. I don't know.
You knew more of yourself. You were on your journey to know yourself, and it wasn't
from
looking
25
too
to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. From 25 to 30. That was that was my original point. But yeah, I think the red flags were sometimes the way that you talk to me, which goes into like the kindness piece, and I was like, yeah, that's a requirement for sure. You were very stubborn. I think you still are
I
stubborn.
am still very stubborn, yes. You know, our niece had a moment the other day, and our cousin was like, "Is this you?" Because my niece and I were birthday twins, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm very stubborn."
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be more open, but it's there.
So yeah, she has some stuff, and I was just like, okay. But my biggest thing is, are you working on the things that you're doing? Because like, I can accept somebody for their flaws, love them in spite of, and for some of their flaws, but the encouraging thing, the thing that helps, is somebody working at it. Like if you're somebody who even for like our situation, let's say like we're not making as much money as we want to make. Well, we want to make like a certain amount that's gonna help us do big things. You heard some of our plans, like building these institutions for us, mental health institutions for Black people. You know, that's gonna cost some money. You know, but yeah, it just is. But yeah, the steps towards that, the financial freedom and all those other things, if I see you and I working at that, that's a sign that we're both on the same page in the growth mindset. So the same thing I just applies to other aspects of our lives, you know, our emotional growth, like our physical intimacy, our intellectual conversations, still like the things that make us fall in love, and the things that you listed before, like those same things that were on my list as well. Those are the things that you really need to keep going and improving on, and have a work process mindset towards. As long as you have that, I'm good, because I can see like, okay, well, she's being stubborn, but she's working at it. It's the difference between take me as I am shit.
Yeah.
I hate that. I hate that, like, take me as I am, I ain't working on it. Nah.
And I feel like that
I can accept you as you are, because you are how you are. You grew up that way. It might be ingrained in you. But if you're working towards becoming better, then I can at least respect it. And depending on how severe that thing is within our relationship, then maybe I can actually accept it within a relationship and embrace it.
And I always took that saying, take me as I am, differently. I took it as like your core values as a person, like what is your spirit, and people accepting that and not trying to change that, and finding people that you align with. Not take me as I am because of my flaws, and there's no change in that.
That'd be that bullshit.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely within these past couple of years have been growing. Jesus. But so yes, respecting your boundaries, verbal and physical boundaries, and also changing, because I didn't grow up with healthy relationship dynamics. So it was the first time that I was considering it, and I was like, yeah, I want to do better. I don't want to treat somebody I love that way. I want to be a better partner. Like how he was thinking about how to be a good husband, I had never thought about how to be a good wife outside of the food, cleaning, and sex bit. And I'm like, yeah, there's a little more to that. So you okay, babe?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just fixing it.
Okay. But yeah, so I definitely grew, and I definitely realized that I had to grow. But it was for me becoming the person and the partner that I wanted to be, as well as the person and partner that you deserve.
Well, thank you, baby. And I reward you with a ring. No,
appreciate it.
Honestly, I don't think like a lot of people understand that. Just like other aspects of life, you have to work at relationships as well.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you reap the benefits of those same, the same effort that you put into it. So it's just like how all these women are getting hella degrees, they on their stuff, they're getting their bags. That's the reward. But they put no effort into becoming better at partnership. And that's the other thing, because it's like, I'm also not absolved of becoming a good and sustaining a good partnership and cooperation within our relationship as well. I can't just be like, okay, now that she's more cooperative, I get to walk all over her. Like, that's not what you do. And that's the problem with a lot of guys on the other end. Now I'm Mike Tysoning it up. Oh man, switched up my mic too. So yeah, you have to be able to understand your role in cooperation and building together in your relationship versus trying to tear each other down and competing all the goddamn time for no reason. Ego shit. You know. Okay. Next question I wanted to ask was about your last serious relationship, and how you feel like it prepared you for your current marriage and pretend life partnership.
Ooh. That's a good question, baby.
Oh yeah, I know I come with the heat. Let me ask catch me in therapy. Holla at your boy.
See, I don't have these problems in therapy, but in life, I'm like, what are questions? It's so fascinating.
Check out Smart Love if you want some relationship coaching.
Yes.
Smartlove.com.
Two
right?
T's.
2 T's. Don't forget them 2 T's.
Okay. How did he prepare me? Okay, well, let me just say we were only in a committed relationship for 5 months. Situationship for 3 years. So there's that. I needed to be whole individually. And I think I didn't learn that towards the end of or beginning of senior year at college, because so we started dating at the end of freshman year, so basically that summer into sophomore year. And yeah, I would lose myself in my relationships. So he was trying to take space. He was trying to end things. So he was trying to take space. And I think at one point I started respecting that. Before, I was definitely focused on I want what I want. So if we're drunk and we have sex, then, that's more of a connection. But yeah, my senior year, I was changing. I was growing. I was forced to, honestly. I was in a very dark place. That's when I went to the Sonia Sanchez reading.
That's when it all changed.
Yeah. And from that point on, I felt more whole and full within myself. So my relationship with him changed. And I think that's when, the love returned between us. And things got smoother and less challenging. Because it was highly conflictual at times. So yeah. Other than that, he showed me that I wanted a partner who was similar to me, not at the approval of my parents.
That's important.
Yeah. I definitely learned that because my dad didn't like him. So I definitely learned that, if I'm spending my life with someone, they're for me. I'm the one spending my life with them. Who gives a fuck what you think?
Dads don't like me.
No?
I thought they would, but I guess not.
I mean, you are kind of non-traditional. But so am I, which is why it works. So, and it was coming from the point of, I'm different from my parents. They don't really accept me. So, then, yeah, of course they wouldn't,
I think they know, I'm fucking laid up.
I mean, yes.
They know. But they don't like it.
I mean,
but how some guys give off the oh, he's so innocent vibe.
Oh yeah, I guess
I'm not.
You're not
one of those dudes. I come off as I'm nice, but it's this nice motherfucker is fucking my daughter. This motherfucker hey, how you doing, man? I'm fucking the shit out of your daughter. That's how they look at me.
Oh goodness. So. Okay.
I know I'm gonna have those moments if we have a daughter. I'm gonna be God damn this motherfucker. This old chipper ass motherfucker. Why are you so damn happy? I know why you got damn happy.
Okay.
Touching my little girl.
What?
I'm already in dad mode.
Yes. What else? What else? I mean, there was so much I learned with you, so I'm like, what did I learn from him?
Damn.
Like when I say the exponential amount of growth I've experienced with you, relationally, good God. But that's all I can think of right now.
Okay.
What about you? How did your previous relationship
Dog,
prepare
I was just teeing this up so I could
for
knock it
marriage?
off the front. Let me tell the people something.
Let's hear it.
Alright, first of all, let me stop. I ain't about to go. Shout out to my ex. I'm not about to put your name out there. No, but shout out to you, for real. That was the most impactful. I think I've said this on this podcast before, but this was one of the most impactful. I'm going to go with the most impactful relationship that I've had leading up to our relationship. Obviously, this is going to be the most impactful. Go ahead, stone on, baby. It's okay. Alright.
Got this ring on my finger, y'all.
She had this straight.
It's a little blurry in the camera. Whatever.
It's all good.
We'll post pictures on our Instagram and Facebook.
Yes. And on our YouTube as well. On the YouTube community.
On the thumbnail?
Yeah.
You said community?
Mm-hmm. On the community. That'll be the first time we can actually use the community tab.
Oh, because I was like, what's this thing? I don't know. Yeah. Thank you for researching, baby. All right.
Oh, so, yeah. So, the relationship with my ex was very impactful because of the nature of the relationship itself, but also the time in my life when all those things were happening. It was like the perfect storm for my growth and development into the man that I am now. So, how did it prepare me for this moment? First of all, it taught me what I actually want in a relationship and what restrictions and boundaries I want in a relationship. Because in the relationship with my ex, I almost said her name. Woo! Let me chill out. Oh, I'm not really trying to put her shit out there like that, Yeah, in that relationship, we kind of just like let things flow. There weren't a lot of defined things. We didn't talk about our insecurities that often, and when we did, it was almost in an unhealthy way. So that was the thing. It was like either I would what?
Go ahead.
Either we wouldn't talk about them, or we would talk about them in ways that just weren't healthy. You know what I mean? So like we're having a discussion about like maybe I'm insecure about her. What was I insecure about back then? Her having conversations with other guys who she talked to. It turned out to be right about that one. Sorry. Every time I gotta laugh at that shit. It's so funny now. I'm
glad you can find humor.
Well, I mean, what can you do? Like, I feel like the reason why it's so funny to me now is because it seems so obvious now. And also, like, I was putting so much stake into what that meant and the meaning of it behind our relationship, like that betrayal, when I should have been putting way more stake into myself and like learning about me and setting my boundaries. Because if I would have known that, going back to what I learned about my relationship, I would have known what requirements I had in a relationship and would have known that long distance would have been an absolute no. Physical touch, my needs for physical touch are absolutely like almost damn near number one on my list of things when it comes to a partner. Like, it's required. All these other things that I'm talking about are required. You can't just be fine and just be like fucking like a body dummy. Like I can't just touch on some like big. Oh look, she got big titties and ass. Ooh ooh, and then she can't say anything. That's creepy as fuck to me. Some other guys are like, yeah, just shut up and don't do nothing. I need conversation. I need personality. I need all those other factors involved. But touching, being physical, being physically intimate in all ways is important to me. It's extremely important to me. And that cannot happen on a consistent basis with a long distance relationship. So I have to be with my partner. That was like one of the number one things I had to learn.
He made it apparent with me.
Yeah. I was like, yo, you could go wherever. It's kind of the same thing I tell you about you talking to guys. It's like, you can talk to whoever. Just know how I move, because I know how I am now. So again, going back to my other example, in a situation, I know how I can tell you right now how I'm gonna act, because I know me. So it's like, do what you need to do. I will never say, I'm never gonna restrict a damn person, unless it's like the kids, because for safety reasons, all that other stuff. But you're a grown ass woman. And it's like, you know that the consequences to your actions, I'm letting them be known plainly. And I'm letting you know that it won't even be like a resentment thing. It will be like a visceral reaction thing of what will happen. So it's just like, boom. Go ahead, do your thing.
We're specifically talking about me dating men, in case you got lost in that, because I don't think it was clear. We went from long distance with a lack of physical touch to that.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, yes.
You're not about to have a visceral reaction.
Yeah, no, it will be like, because I can't physically be with you anymore. If you're in long distance. You feel what I'm saying? That's that reaction that like, I can't be with her. I can't touch and love and kiss on my baby. Like that's a big deal for me.
Yes.
So yeah, it would be like that. That's why I was comparing it to. And also, long distance is going to lead to that as well. I didn't think about that, but that also connects.
I mean,
exactly. It's my point. It's my point.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned that. I also learned more of my boundaries. I learned how I like to be talked to, what I'm going to accept in that area. Watch your tone. It's like why are we talking? Like, do you want me to get up on this level? Do you like?
No. He would say, "You gonna argue with yourself and just walk away," which was valid. And then,
what the fuck we look
and
like?
then he give me that mama look. He give me that black mama look. Like, who the fuck you think you talking to?
For real. Cause like
he didn't even have to say anything. He just gave me that look. You right. I'm sorry.
Cause, and now I put out a little stuff. Cause like my ex used to talk to me crazy when we got to certain points. It wasn't always like that. Again, so I do want to make this clear. So I'm not making it seem like she's the villain. Because I always have to take accountability to what I was allowing in the relationship, anyways. But also I want to take accountability for like how good it was at the beginning prior to the long distance. So again, me not asserting my boundary and knowing myself led to the detriment of that relationship, because from that point on I was not getting what I would need in a relationship. So if I wasn't getting what I needed in a relationship, everything else is downhill from there. Even like my patience with certain things that I might have had with you in person, because I'm like, we about to fuck right after. That's gone. That's a real thing. Yo, it's a real thing. Fellas, back me up. Physical intimacy can go a long way towards cooperation and letting that out, because you're able to literally physically express that and get that out.
Little hate sex.
It won't even be hate sex. It'll be like, can we stop talking about this and just connect? Because that's really what it is. It's like, we're going to get back to this. If this is really an issue, we going to get back to this. But can we connect? And without that, it's just like, the issue isn't solved. The issue isn't solved. The issue isn't solved. Is there any connection? Are we going to talk enough for me to really feel that? No.
Yeah, women operate differently.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I had to learn that about myself. I was trying to psych myself out and be like, oh, nah, I can feel in this way or whatever. I'll be strong enough to this. It's all a mental thing. You just gotta be strong enough. It's weak people do all this other nonsense that wasn't true to be actually asking myself questions. It's just me trying to play the role of like strong enough to make it through this struggle.
Storm.
Yeah, you know, the long distance relationship. I will conquer it. I'll be the one guy that actually makes it. Yes, I will, because I'm in school for this show. Fuck out of here.
School teaches. So much fucking growth in grad school. Goodness.
And this will be my last point. The biggest red flag. Well, nah, this is one of the biggest. One of the biggest. The biggest red flag was when took that plane shit. Yeah. Woo, boy. Woo. When did I tell the story? I must have told it a couple of times. Y'all gotta go back to at least How to Get Over Your Ex or some shit. Some one of those episodes.
That's Texting My Ex.
Texting My Ex. Yeah, there we go. Texting My Ex. Mm-hmm. Go back to that one. I definitely know I went over the story in that episode. So y'all listening or watching the podcast, go back
in time.
You know what I'm saying? And listen to the whole story. But one of the biggest red flags, one of them things that I was like, what the fuck am I even doing in this situation? Is when I was trying to solve some of the problems in our relationship by applying what I'm learning in class.
I feel it.
She was like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Don't therapize me.
Yeah, acting like I'm trying to be her therapist. I was just like, you know what? I'm fucking done. If you don't feel like you can use the resources that I'm fucking learning.
Like, there's a reason we're learning this shit. Why don't you want to apply it? Why do you think it's a bad thing to apply this shit to your relationships, to your life?
I was like,
I feel that shit.
You not trying to grow. You are not trying to grow.
That's basically what it is.
So as soon as you basically just saying, like, if you're not trying to grow and help in this relationship, you just said to me, fuck this relationship. Mm-hmm. And even then, I knew it was a red flag. I stored it in my mind, but it was in the back of my mind. I still kept seeing this woman.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's a process. Yeah. It's a process.
You learn.
Very hard-headed at the beginning. But that's how it was. But it's significant enough that I still remember it to this day to make a point of it on the podcast. So I remember that moment being like, what the fuck, yo? But that's what I mean by, y'all, whoever's listening. Sometimes you have to have those conversations with yourself. Sometimes we just say these things in our heads, like, what the fuck? And then we'll be like, nah, just keep going. Like, we don't sit with it like, what the fuck was that? I feel terrible that she won't even try. Like, we don't finish the thoughts. Because we feel like they're uncomfortable, or we just get distracted, we pick up our phone, we'll just do some other shit. But nah, those are the moments of growth, man. Those are the moments of fucking growth. And I'm glad I got there at some point. Because if I never asked those tough questions and had time to reflect like that, shit, I'd probably be hitting up right now.
Whew, thank you for your growth, baby.
Right. But anyways, shout out to my ex for all the lessons learned, because that's why I appreciate the relationship so much, because I did learn those things. It was ugly at the end, beautiful at the beginning, really, really ugly at the end. But those ugly moments and even those beautiful moments taught me a lot about myself. It taught me that, in the beautiful moments at least, taught me that I can do a lot with a little, and that what matters is that connection, because we had a really good connection in the beginning, and I did appreciate that. But now I know how to sustain a connection, and that's important. And I have a plan for it. I know how to communicate. So, like, when we're off track, we're going to know probably that day, and then we're probably going to have it solved within that week. There's no, like, falling off the rails, because we're never going to get that far off track.
And that's what I remembered when you said the lack of communication, lack of growth. So from an ex before my ex, I learned that I was controlling. So I wanted, in the most recent relationship, I wanted to change things. So I wanted to do monthly check-ins where we're just like, hey, how's it going? Is there anything I can improve? You know, that kind of thing. But he never said anything. And it turned out there was major issues, but he never said anything. And it's like, this is what I was trying to avoid. Like, if you don't say something, I can't work on it, you know?
Yeah.
So I do appreciate you for voicing yourself and setting and enforcing your boundaries. And I listened.
That's another thing that my ex taught me. Is like, just because somebody has a boundary and they don't like it doesn't mean that that boundary has to change. Because that's the thing I think a lot of guys get mixed up. Is like they'll have something that they want to say, but they know that the reaction will be bad, and then it will just cause more conflict. But if you're like, nah, I don't like this. What's up? And the woman's like, well, I do like this. Well, I'm like, well, I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree then. And then that's it. And then if y'all can work with that, cool. But the problem is a lot of people, they bend and twist around their boundaries. And then that fucks shit up. All right. Last question.
You sure?
I don't know. How much time we've been on? We've been on for about
an hour.
About an hour. Yeah. Okay. I got a lot. I can do a lot.
I have no idea. So. Up to you.
I won't say it's the last question. I'll just ask the question and then we'll just keep going and see where where it goes. Right. So I won't. You guys won't know when it ends till it does. Okay. When it comes to your current relationship with me, how do you intend to keep us happy and keep us strong, our connection strong, as we go forward? Like, what things do you feel like you've learned or developed now that prepares you to keep a man, keep me? Not just like, now that you've gotten me. Because I think that's like a lot of people's issues, is that they think of marriage and then they think of divorce.
And they also think of marriage as a finish line. Like, okay, yes. I got him.
Yes.
And it's like, no, that's a starting line. Like, it's only beginning.
that's a perfect way to put it.
You know, my colleague from Practicum said that. Because I was saying how there seems to be a lack of emotional growth in monogamy, whereas like polyamory forces you to be in emotional growth. So yeah, we were talking about it in that instance with that metaphor. So how I plan to keep trying to be an active listener. There are some days where I'm like, okay, I'm going to aim for being quiet and having you initiate the conversation.
That just touched my heart. I'm for real, y'all. That just...
Yeah, because that is not my go-to whatsoever. I speak it's mind to mouth, so I'm an external processor. It just goes. So sometimes I'll set the intention to be like, okay, shut up, let him speak. Because if I'm silent, you are more often than not, like, you'll voice your thoughts. Versus like me asking, you don't always voice it. So if I just allow there to be space and room for you to bring up what you're thinking.
That's so true.
Yeah. So
that's so true.
So yeah. So that's one way.
You done found out a hat, girl.
Yes.
That's a good one.
I've been trying. Also in that same breath, intentional. What do we call it? Alone together time and quiet together time. Alone together meaning we're doing our own thing, but we're together, and then quiet together meaning we're kind of focused on our connection, but we're not necessarily speaking. We're just enjoying each other's company. So that's a lot of times like in nature, like just breathing and just being with each other. Yeah. So those are like some things that I try, and it's just whenever I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try and be intentional with this time. So that is something. All the things I learned from the plethora of male-dominated platforms. So, so exercising, making sure that I remain fit. So that way we can keep your sexual attraction to me.
Ooh. She talking that talk. What else? What else? It's nice. I like this.
Oh my gosh.
You got me excited. Got me excited.
Intentionally practicing my femininity. I just will be releasing. Well, actually, this is coming out next week. So check out. Ooh, you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Wall might not be though, because working out.
Life is Rocqi, my personal YouTube channel. I have a episode in my Becoming a Feminine Woman series called 10 Ways to Practice Your Feminine Energy. And that's where, like, I flush out how to practice my feminine energy. Like, my relationship is only one area to practice my feminine energy, to make sure that I am tapping into that part of myself. Mm-hmm. So I'm practicing it, like being out of a relationship for so long. And then also just, I went through like how I was practicing in high school, in college, in grad school, sorry babe, mm-hmm. when I moved to Oakland till now. And it definitely, like, high school was the most ways I practiced my feminine energy until now.
Wow.
Like, it definitely, like, knocked back just because of different factors, where I was living, what I was doing with my life, mm-hmm. type of thing. So just being intentional about the ways that I'm practicing my feminine energy to make sure that I maintain that.
Okay.
Flexibility, aka friendly cooperativeness. Accepting you as the leader of our relationship and being cooperative in that. And
oh my God.
Ladies, that's hard. It's still hard.
Oh my God.
It's still hard.
Oh my
It's still hard.
I think we got her.
It's still hard.
Do we got a good one, y'all?
It's still hard. But I did the episode on my channel, and it was who is actually the better leader. Well, I actually like flushed out the ways in which you were leading in like actual leadership skills and qualities, and like you were leading by far. So it was like, logically, just looking at the facts, I can't argue with this. Like, there's no co-lead here. I got my little leadership, my little strengths, but you lead this bitch. So yes, in terms of our relationship, in terms of our businesses, in terms of our life together, you are the leader, and I've become more accepting of that, and therefore more cooperative.
Thank you, baby. Because I'm not trying to lead you astray.
I understand. and you said it yourself. You like, you chose me, so why don't you trust your choice? And I was like, damn, you right.
You could be with other guys, right?
I don't know. I don't want to be with other guys.
Right.
Like, you're the man of my dreams. You're like literally fulfilling my life for my dreams, you know, like the life that I've always wanted. So why? No.
I got you.
But yeah. So let's see. Anything else? Being open sexually. I'm trying. I'm vanilla as shit, y'all.
Trying out the freaking her, y'all.
I'm vanilla as shit.
She not about these things.
I'm not.
But we'll see. We have a whole lifetime to figure that out, right? Yes. And as you guys know, if you listen to the podcast, we are in a polyamorous relationship. So we are very much open and clear about our boundaries, mm-hmm. and we communicate things. And also, we're both on this, I think, I won't speak for both of us, but at least for me, I think I'm pretty much locked in and really focused on our relationship right now.
For sure. Yes, for sure.
So I'm not really looking to date. If somebody comes along,
mm-hmm.
they would have to really be like a really good connection, mm-hmm. and bring peace and mm-hmm. potentially add to our situation. Mm-hmm. That would be like the only situation I mean, remotely close to interested in right now. So.
Like, yeah, we're in our engagement, planning for the wedding.
We focused on
like businesses, bringing our children into this world. Like, yeah, we're really two T's.
You know,
like, yeah. So, and that's why I was saying I didn't really have the energy to date the summer, because I'm working on my own business and stuff. Like, yeah,
we got work to do. So.
Yeah, so I'm like, who has the energy to date? That's hella energy.
Yeah.
So. If I'm going to do something with my energy, I would rather put it into us for right now. Because, like, finding somebody for it to not work out is just a lot of energy.
Word. And there's no guarantee, because we don't know what's a good fit. But
exactly.
We know that we're a good fit.
Exactly.
And we know that we are building. So,
mm-hmm.
like, why not?
Yeah. So, I honestly think, because I was saying possibly next year, but with the wedding and everything, I don't see it now. But, because I'm
you
like...
never know, but, like, our concentration is like,
but,
the focus of our energy.
Yeah, I think, honestly, it's going to take a backseat until after one of the kids.
Probably.
Because I'm into us. Like, I definitely feel a shift in energy from me going to, like, work and education to homemaker and mommy roles. So, I definitely feel the shift. Because I'm tired, y'all. I just want to be home with my babies.
All right, well, they coming, man.
All right.
Right.
Do you want to talk about the proposal?
Let's talk about the proposals. This is what y'all been waiting for, right? All right. So, hold on. I'm gonna do a quick check on like the battery and all that good stuff.
Yes.
To make sure that we're straight. I'll be right back.
I think we're good. I can't see it, but.
Oh yeah, we live. We good. We got 25% now.
Oh, okay.
We great. All right. So, let's get into it. Okay. The question is, how did I propose? Oh, you got a little something on your eyelash. It's like closer. There you go. Got it, I think.
Yep. Got it. Before we get into that, I didn't ask you the reverse of how you'll maintain keeping me.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted you to. Okay, perfect. How will I keep my wife? Because you know the saying, happy wife, happy life.
Even though I subscribe to happy spouse, happy house.
Much better saying. So how will I maintain and keep our connection strong and healthy? I'll often check in on you. Like, by often I mean like weekly. You know, like I always ask you like how your day's doing pretty much every day. But I make a point to at least ask weekly, setting up weekly dates, and like sometimes they're grandiose, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
But at least making the effort every week for quality time between just us, no distractions, trying to have like no TV or phone unless that's part of the experience, like going out to the movies or something else like that. You know what I mean? Showing appreciation for the things that you do. So I've asked you to do more things, but I also appreciate when you do them. Like, so I don't ever take them for granted. Yeah, even if it's just a slap of the booty to let you know that you're doing your thing, girl.
Well, also remember, I'm words of affirmation.
I know. I'll come up and behind you and whisper some sweet nothings in your ear.
That has nothing to do with what I'm doing. You just be.
I just love and appreciate you. Exactly.
Yes.
So it's like you're doing things, but like I'll just come up and be like, I love you just doing everything. Like, just come here, come here right now. Come on, we on air. What you doing? Come on, people watching. What you talking about? Just distracted. See, this is what happens. But yeah, making sure to use my words and actions to show my appreciation for you.
Thank you.
And the things you do. I will provide financially, even though I don't think you're here for that.
No, I would like my own bag.
Yeah.
I would like you to have your own bag.
I think you like the fact that I am earning by myself, like you said, but also that I look to provide for you. Like, you like that.
I like that you are like money management and investing. Like, I like how you lead in that area.
Yeah. So with that, preparing myself to become a good father. Like, I know some of these aren't like necessarily to keep our connection strong, but it will help. Yeah, I'm putting them all in that spirit.
I'm like,
because
shit.
I think they're related.
They are. You right. Right.
So preparing to be a good father, spending time with my nephew, which helped. I know I'm gonna get into dad mode and start the books and all that was good stuff when we start preparing for it. But like, I got a list. Sure, she does. But I know like the mentality and how I'm gonna be. It's gonna be very intentional because I want to have a strong family. Like, I want us to be so strong. And what else? Helping our connection by like just being aware of it. You know, I think I'm very aware of like when we're off and when things are wrong. usually I'm able to address it, or at least like say, I don't got the energy to address it right now, but I saw this thing that we need to address or something like that. So yeah, those are the ways I think I'm gonna be able to keep our connection strong, keep it healthy, keep us going, and loving each other throughout the years.
Thank you, baby.
Thank you. All right, without further ado, how did I propose?
Okay, but I also want to hear you tell it.
I'm gonna tell it.
You gonna tell it after I tell it?
You tell your version, and I'm gonna tell you what led up to all that. Because that's what I'm saying. You get to have like your version is only like so short, and I'm gonna tell like, okay, so here's where I'm in the backstory. It's like the behind the scenes. Yeah, that's what I mean. So.
All right, okay. So Oso was visiting his brother in Atlanta, and we have been talking consistently on WhatsApp throughout his stay there. So then all of a sudden, he just stopped responding and viewing my messages. And I'm like, you not even receiving my messages? This is highly suspicious. Now, mind you, at a previous vacation away from me, he came home early to surprise me. So I was like, voice note, I see what you doing here. You coming home to surprise me, aren't you? Well, I'm all good and ready for you, baby. I see you soon. And then he had the audacity to throw me off the trail by saying, LOL, I wish love. Nah, flights are still bad, because he was doing standby flights. Mm-hmm. He was like, I was just at the park, with my family, and I'm really tired, so I'll talk to you later. And I was like, man, I was really excited. So I was like, fine, whatever. See you when I see you. So I just, went on to bed. Regular evening for me.
No, nothing suspicious going on outside.
And then, a little after midnight, who creeps into my bedroom? Because remember, we have separate bedrooms. And everybody who I tell the story to, they like, you ain't think that was a burglar? I'm very aware of how someone, the sounds of someone entering my room, someone going across the living room. I'm very aware of the sounds that it makes. So I knew it was him coming in the door, even though I popped open awake immediately. But I knew it was him just by how he entered my room. So then, yeah, I popped open awake and was like, I knew it. And I grabbed him and I hugged him and I loved him. And yeah, we were cuddling and really appreciating each other because we had missed each other because it had been 10 plus days. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was really nice, and we were just being very mindful of each other and appreciating each other. So obviously it had been 10 plus days, so my mind was on some sexual activity, okay? Right. So I was throwing out some lines. And he was like, no, it's okay, baby. I'm just enjoying this time with you. And I have a higher sensual need, so I was okay with that. I was like, okay, I'm gonna enjoy my baby with the cuddles and stuff. And then he said, I'm gonna go get something. And we had been talking about going to the sex shop. So I was like, oh, you got it already? And then he came back. And I was laying on my bed, and he got on his knees on the side of my bed and had his hands folded and was laying on my stomach. And I was like, that's too small for what I'm thinking you holding, right? And then he stood up and he broke his hands away, and there was nothing in his hands. And I was like, well, I guess he didn't get it. Okay, all right, well. And then he stood me up, and you hugged me and you kissed me. And mind you, it's nighttime, so it's 1 or something, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't have any lights on in my room. But you were wearing light green shorts, so I could make out your shorts in the darkness. And then I see you go to dig in your pocket, and I'm like, oh, is that where the sexual item is? And then you pull out a box and got on your knee, but it wasn't until you opened the box and they had a ring light mm-hmm. in the box that I was like, this is not sexual. So I had to adjust because I was not expecting that at all, okay? what happened, all right?
I had no idea this was going through her head.
I was so sexually focused.
I had no idea this was going through her head.
Listen, I was horny, shit.
Shit. I'm over here trying to be romantic.
You know, so I had to adjust, right? And then the thought after that, mind you, he's asked me to marry him several times. I've said yes each time. You've also pranked me.
It was all jokes, y'all.
And like acting like you were gonna pose and stuff. So at this point, I'm like, mind you, it's still dark, so it's hard for me to see the ring. I'm like, you better not be playing with me right now. There better not be no empty box. You better not be playing with me. This shit's not happening. It's not really happening, right? And then cry. Just bawling. Then I ran away and was on my bed crying. And then I was like, wait, go back. That's why I was like, what's going on in your head when I did all that? So then I came back.
I'm gonna tell you.
I came back and with a hand over my mouth, crying. It was very stereotypical.
Yeah.
And then I was like, shit. Okay, calm down. Focus on what he's saying. And this is why I was like, a recording would be nice, because I'm like, fuck, what he say? It was a lot of emotion, a lot of thoughts going through my head, okay, in my body. It was a lot happening. So then I was like, okay, focus on his words. And then you asked me, and it was of course. We kissed and we hugged and he put the ring on my finger and it was great. It was great. And then after came the sex.
Of course. You ain't gonna get proposed to it, nah.
You know,
but the guy that just proposed to you.
But then it was really great because then it was like, well, we're both awake now. So
yeah, I was tired as fuck and I just got energy.
Yeah.
From the flight.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
So then we like smoked and we talked and we were really mindful and talking to each other, and that's when we talked a little bit about your process and how you were feeling and how you think about things. So it was a really, and then we slept in the same bed that night, which was really nice. So yeah, that was our proposal, my version of it. What was your version, baby?
Alright, so first of all, I've been saving for this goddamn ring. For probably up to a year, like, you know.
Wow, really?
Yeah. So I've been saying, like, because either we was gonna make it happen, or we was not gonna make it happen. I would put that money someplace else. It was like, whatever, I'm gonna stash this money. But I was intentionally putting it away for the ring because I wanted it to happen. I'm still, feeling things out. I'm still making sure everything's straight. I ain't going into no traps. But everything seemed to have checked out, fellas. We are good. We're A-okay. Don't send the cavalry yet. I'll let you know. But yeah, so I've been saving all this time for the ring. I was hiding my savings because we were pretty much really open with our finances and everything else like that,
and our phones too.
Yeah, so it's not like a big deal for us.
I did not see it.
But yeah, I was scroll past. So like, only time I hide stuff is when I'm trying to surprise her, some shit like that. So, yeah, so I'm like, don't look at that. Don't look at that. All right, and saving all this time, and I'm thinking of like when and how I want to do it. And like I said before, I always had these thoughts of things being grandiose and doing all this other big stuff. But I figured, boom, I had enough money for it, and I knew I wanted to at least get the ring, right? And I was like, boom, my trip with my brother. That's the perfect time to mail it over there. So I already decided on that, like, as we were figuring that out. Then I'm like... Which
was good, because I check our mail, and I'm nosy.
Exactly.
So I would have figured that shit out.
Exactly. So that's why I knew not to do that shit. So I was like, boom, I'm on that. Because her nosy ass going to stuff.
Like, oh, what you get?
Oh, the ring. And then you're going to put it back in or some shit? It's going to be all ripped up.
It was a very good idea, baby. It was a very good idea.
So that was in motion. So then I was like, well, why don't I just do the whole thing? Where it's like I do my grandiose spiel as I return. And I was thinking about that. But it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. And then we were just talking throughout the trip and everything else like that. I was just like, feeling out the connection. Now I kept on thinking, I'm like, all right, well, what else could I do? Like, what could I do to make this like really special and how I would want it? And then, well, all the things that came up were just like, just come back early. Just come back early. Just come back early. I was like, I know that motherfucker in my head. I'm like, I know I'm gonna come back early. What else I'm gonna do? I gotta do something else. So I was like, no, man, just come back early. It was something that was telling me to just come back early, and like,
and I knew it.
Whatever. She kind of knew, but I threw her off.
You did.
So it don't matter. It don't count. I'm good. I won.
You did.
I surprised
you. You did.
But yeah, someone was just telling me to just be just go forward and surprise her with coming back early. So that's what I ended up doing, and I still have so many ideas. That's why I'm not saying them out loud right now. To surprise you with other gifts and just other celebrations of our love throughout our years. So they're in the memory bank. But for some reason, I knew that at that moment I needed to just feel the raw like expression and connection that we had. The connection that we had, and then to express it in a way that matched that rawness and simplicity. And it was a feeling. It was really a feeling. It was like, you don't need to do all that right now. You don't need to do all that right now. And I think maybe that's what it was. Like, maybe doing all those things would have taken you out of the moment or taken you out of, like, whatever it was. But I felt like the way that it went down when I came through, I surprised you. I had the Lyft driver sneak through the back.
Yes, if he comes through the back, I don't hear him at all. But I live right by my room's right by the front door. So
everything planned out. So sneaking through the back and doing all this other stuff, I felt it. And when we were connecting in the bed prior to me getting the ring, because I was still contemplating it, like, I'm here, I can still save it for later and then drop that shit like boom, whenever I want. Nah, I knew, I was like, man, I need to do it right now. I feel like literally the love is exploding. And I don't know if that's because we was both horny as fuck. But whatever. I'll pop that question.
We were really appreciating, like, we missed each other. So.
Missed that.
No, because we were talking about, like, children and stuff, and we were talking about our relationship while you were gone. So.
Nah, yeah, we really were. I'm just joking around.
I mean, I was horny too, so.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Yes, that's what when I was saying focus on the words, that's what you were saying. You were like, you wanted it to be some grandiose thing. Yeah. I wanted to have my hair done, my nails done, and all that stuff.
Yeah, all that.
But he was like, it felt right in the moment. It felt like a true expression of my feelings for you.
Right. It did. It matched up. It aligned with exactly what was going on inside for me. And that was the other thing I was saying. When I was thinking of the proposal, I was thinking like, yo, I'm finally ready as a man to be a husband as well. Because it's not always like, stereotypically it's all about the wife or whatever. But it's like for me in that moment, it was about myself saying I'm ready to step into that role to be truly responsible for someone, not in the sense of like I'm babysitting or anything else like that, but like responsible for the connection and the things that we're building. Because if I say I want to be the leader, I have to step up to that. You know what I mean? And that takes a lot of courage. It's going to have those rough days, but it's kind of like an old story I told with the story when I was in at Benedict's doing the trail, and I was the captain, and we always got the flower. Flower meant that you had a perfect score, that you were doing all the activities, and then I let my team down, and one time when I didn't show up. And
I showed up.
Yo, where's that? Oh shit! I'm in preach. I'm in preach. We was just watching that shit. That's hilarious. I showed up. Yo, shout out to preach, yo. Shout out to preach.
You gotta show up and do something.
Right, you have to show up. Even if you fucking up, yo, you showing up. Your team knows you're there. But you can't like not show up. That's the lesson of that. So I'll never not show up. I will guarantee you I will fuck up. Yup, it's gonna happen. But I will try to minimize my fuck ups and maximize my learning experiences so that those things don't happen. Because the more I learn about myself and other stuff, world around me, the better prepared I am for those situations. So I can do.
And I felt your vulnerability of your love, your choice. Like, I felt that in your proposal.
Good, because it was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was right there. It was like, oh shit, what did she say? I actually think she was going to say no. I was very confident. It was just, it was like I said, it was more, it was about me at that time. It was like, yo, big dog, you ready? You ready, big dog? It's okay. It's okay.
I love you, baby.
I love you too. Let's end the show with a kiss. Shout out to y'all. Our It's So Real family. Thank you so much for tuning in with us.
Yes. And helping us celebrate our engagement.
Yes. We hope you enjoyed the show. Anything, last words you want to say before we wrap this one up? Our engagement episode.
Black love.
Black love, baby.
HBCU love.
Yeah.
Hampton love.
HU.
Smart choice.
Smart choice. 2 T's. Know that. Alright, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.
Thank you so much for listening to the It's So Real podcast with your girl, Rocqi.
And your boy, Oso.
You have a beautiful day. Take care of you.
Alright, y'all. Peace.
And love.
Always. 2 T's.
2 T's.
We out.
Hey, It's So Real family. It's your girl, Rocqi.
And your boy, Oso.
And thanks for being here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and click that notification bell.
Right, because subscribing and hitting that notification bell does 2 very important things. 1, it gives you notification on our new content and make sure that you're up to date on everything that we put out every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
And then number 2, it helps your boy and your girl out with some money. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it on.
It's so real, baby.
But in all seriousness, this is just like the video portion, the YouTube portion of our content. We are It's So Real podcast. So we have all these episodes just waiting for y'all on how many platforms?
11 different streaming platforms.
11.
So it's up to you to choose.
Yeah, there's no excuses. We on everything. So whatever platform you're most comfortable listening to stuff, your content on, we're right there for you. So look us up. It's So Real podcast.
And our link tree is available on our YouTube channel. Go over there, find the platform that works best for you, subscribe to our podcast, and hear the full thing. Because we have a lot more to say than what shows up on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. With that being said, check out the rest of our videos while you're here.
You know? And be sure to subscribe.
Alright, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
And love.
Always.